That would have been great. That's an honor. Trying to get back in here. Yeah, that's a chat. Now we can see. Now we'll be able to see if somebody chats in. Sorry, everybody.
We now return.
We didn't realize we was gone.
Regularly scheduled Outhouse
Podcast.
We didn't mean to interrupt your shite.
Of course, if you, hey, move that a little bit to the right so we can see.
We'll figure this
numbers.
out. We'll figure this out. So we're young
Switch it
entrepreneurs,
back to us.
and we're new at this. But we're getting the bugs worked out
little
slowly
bit
but
more.
surely. We don't have
Yeah,
any
that'll
techs.
work.
We still need interns,
I can
guys.
still
So
see
if you're
that.
interested in real world, experience, we're rolling. Rolling.
All right, we're back, I think.
I hope. Are we back now, for real?
That kind of sucked. I got to figure out what the hell that was all about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it
And you know,
It's
that
gonna
might
happen.
be one of them things why, some people was asking us, well, why are you going live with a podcast? And there'd be a reason why.
Yeah.
yeah, right. That was exciting.
You missed out. If we was just doing it regularly, we could have just edited that, which there wouldn't have been a loss because it would have just been uploaded, and that would have been that. But
Right.
so we're live, and that's why that
You get
was
what you
like
get.
that. And the one thing we didn't do, I forget. But anyway,
Well, I see where
the hell was we?
I see where we were, and you
Somewhere
were
in
talking
Motley
about the
Crue, I
amphitheater,
guess.
yeah, and you were talking about Motley Crue.
Did it get cut out before I talked about the dressing rooms and all that? I didn't.
I think it did.
Before I said all that?
I believe.
Anyway, so this thing's shaped like a boomerang. If and how you get off stage and go to the right or the left, it goes down the steps. And if the doors are open on each side, you can see all the way down through where the dressing rooms are. And there's like this little hallway, and they're on. Well, the one side's got a bunch of mirrors, and the other side's is a bunch of different dressing rooms for all the different peoples and
Right.
all that shit. And I forget why that we was even talking. All because of Mick Mars
Yeah, right.
being upstairs instead of downstairs because the dude couldn't even walk.
Yeah, that's a long.
They basically got him to the stage. Two big ass dudes.
Says warning.
It always says that. I don't know. They get him to the damn stage, and it was almost like they inject him with something
Bring to life.
and kick him out on the stage, and he's like, oh, and he's there, and then at the end when he gets off the stage, it's the same thing. He gets to that shadow, and he damn near falls, and they grab him and drag him back to the dressing room. But it was pretty crazy.
Marilyn Manson, I asked you about after that, and King
Marilyn
Diamond.
Manson.
And you and me saw Manson in 07,
Yeah.
but you said you weren't really sure on that one.
I think I did work for him, but
You worked for a lot of people, and I could see
yeah,
where they
it's
just
hard. Yeah,
merge.
it's hard to remember, man.
Especially when you're not watching the show. You are part of the show because you're essential. You're the one that's making it all happen with the lighting and the stage setup and all of it. I mean, if it wasn't for you, they'd have to set all their own stuff up, and it would.
It's the stage.
that would be the show.
That's why some of them guys, they come, at the end of the night, they'll come out and stop the production and shake your hands. Like
Yeah, see, that's awesome.
Darius, Hootie and the Blowfish.
Right.
Dude, he did that. Stopped everybody. Stopped.
Solid
loading,
guy.
turned up. Thanks. You guys did great. David Lee Roth, same thing.
Now you were talking about,
David Lee Roth is real cool.
yeah,
And so was Sammy. That's why it's weird that them two don't get along.
Right.
It's because from my perspective, they was both awesome.
and that
Sammy was more receptive than Dave, but Dave was just kind of.
that was the whole Van Halen thing we talked about last time. But I never did ask. Did you ever do a Van Halen show other than?
Yes, I think I did their last two.
So you got to. Wow.
And that last one, I gotta say,
Right.
I've seen them a few times and worked for them a couple times, but that last one when they had Wolfgang on bass, bro, that
Right.
band was so effing tight.
Right.
Oh my
Dynamite.
god, tight. Looks like Gary's back with us. Now we got the chat thing up. We can see. So if somebody says
Chimes
something, we
in.
might be able to see it, but we can't type back. Speaking of which, we were supposed to have a video tech with us tonight, but he got in a car crash on the way here. And my little
Yeah, man.
nephew Damien, he's all right, but probably
Unexpected.
texting and driving.
Yeah, put it in
You
the
damn
ditch.
kids.
Oh man, you know,
Larry,
I see that
son.
so much. So
Guys better
much.
quit texting and driving.
So, and I don't know if it got the crossover before we cut out, but you've set up other things besides rock and roll shows. What else have you set
We've
up?
done the theater. I've done all like Broadway theater stuff.
So like Cats and
Yep.
Phantom.
Phantom of the Opera, Billy Joel's
Now, did you
Moving
get a-
Out.
Did you get a chance to actually like take in the show?
Some of them, but like them Broadway shows, they're massive. They're like days setting up and shit.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it ain't like a concert where it's in and out. Them
You're
things are like
creating an environment.
and like Phantom of the Opera was like a 2-week in, dude. Like, I mean, that son
That's
of a
a long
bitch
run.
was massive. Yeah, no, not just the rehearsals, just setting the stage, like the lights and the power and all the scenes, and because in a theater they got all them scenes on them pipes and stuff. So when they come in, you got to bring the pipes down, and they say, okay, this particular scene, whether it's a backdrop cloth or whether it's one of them wooden things, how they come down. Well, that's got to be counterweighted on the backside, and I've done that too. You got to lean out. You're freaking 90 feet in the air, and you got to put these metal, they call
Gives me
them bricks.
vertigo.
And you got to stack. Okay,
Oh, man.
so this thing,
I couldn't do it.
so this set piece is, a ton. You got to put a ton of weight, literally, at 80 pounds a piece. Then you're putting on 2,000 pounds at 80 pounds a piece. You and somebody else stack on this arbor until it's counterbalanced. So when they go up, they just barely pull, and it goes up. And when it comes down, it's all smooth. Well, boom, slant. You know what I
Right.
mean? You got to counterbalance it.
That's
In
wild,
them
man.
theaters. So all that shit takes days. You know what I mean? To set up all the lights and all
And
that.
do it
Phantom
right
of
and
the
safe
Opera
and
was
everything, right.
insane. In fact, was it the Phantom of the Opera? No, because or was it? It was one. It was at the State Theater, and it was one of them. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to do shit today. I hope they put me on something easy.
Right.
Well, sometimes when you ask for some shit and you get it, you really didn't want it. Because I'm telling you what, I got in there, and this dude, I swear it was Phantom of the Opera,
Right.
but I feel like that one was at a different theater. But yeah, because the Phantom of the Opera wasn't at the State, I don't think. But I walked in, and this dude's like, all right, man, we're going to get these gondolas out, and we're going to line them up. And I want you to daisy chain them together with the power, the AC. And he goes, run an extension cord over here. He goes, we got to wait for them, though. He goes, go sit there on that box and wait. He goes, when they bring them in, he goes, I'll get a hold. If you got to use the bathroom, let me know. But other than that, I want you sitting right there on that box.
Right.
I was like, all right, cool.
If you answer your phone, I'm punching you.
So I thought I had it in airplane mode. It ain't supposed to be
right.
chirping.
What's that
stupid
chirping
ass
stuff?
thing. So it's like, I'm sitting there. It's like, finally they bring these boxes in. And a gondola is like a big wardrobe box. They got a bunch of, their costumes. So they line them up in the back of the stage. So when they do their thing, they come in and change costumes real quick.
I actually thought you meant like something for the set, a real like Italian, gondola.
No, gondola. It's just a big wardrobe case is what it is. They call them gondolas,
Gotcha.
shit like that. So they bring them in, they open them up, take the lids off, and he's like, all right, go get the extension cord, run it over here, daisy chain them together. And I'm like, all right, cool, I go there, and damn, I go over there and put the extension cord, run it, daisy chain these all together.
I always pay it forward.
Probably took me 10 minutes. I come back. I'm all right, dude. We got that. What's next? He goes, there ain't no next. Go back to the box. I'll call you. Oh, 9 hours later, bro.
Oh, well, you asked for easy, baby. Don't get no easier than that.
Box. I literally went and got a chair and sat in this chair for 9 freaking hours, bro. It was brutal.
Clock watching.
Sucked. I was like, please put me on another crew. I just wanted to do something, you know, because
Right.
sitting there makes a long, boring day.
Oh, man, you got that right. What else did you do up there? Did you ever do any sporting events?
Yeah, I did. We've done a few.
Baseball,
The
basketball,
one that
football?
stands out is we went and did, I forget what baseball game it was. It was a baseball game at the field, and we had to put this grand piano out on the stage and bring it back off stage.
Oh, yeah.
But meanwhile, when I forget why they put us down in the umpire's room.
Right.
And I forget. I think when we put the piano on, because we was like way back behind, like the opposite side, because we had to push it all the way across, clear the home plate.
Oh, wow.
From the backside.
Right.
And then when we got to home plate, they made us go down in there while this dude played.
Okay.
And then lo and behold, we're sitting there and there's like 5, 6 of us, maybe 8 of us in this room.
How big is it?
Pushed. It's probably, I would say, 10 foot by maybe probably not.
Oh, so
even
it's
20
little.
foot. Yeah,
Because it's the umpire's
maybe
room. I just wonder how much
it's
space
just a
they gave those
small-ass
guys.
Little room, like 10 foot by maybe 10 by 10.
That's pretty
10 by
wild that you got to be in that space.
Yeah.
There's fans that would die to do that,
And-
man.
Yeah, so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, like 5 or 6 of these big ass black dudes come walking in. It's like towering motherfuckers, and the last one in the door was this black chick. And I'm like, man, I know her from somewhere. Where do I'm looking at her, and I'm
Right.
like, man, she looks familiar.
It's the
She
star.
starts talking to these guys, and as soon as she started talking, ding, it was Queen Latifah.
Right.
And I was like, no. I was like,
Oh,
what's
that's awesome.
up, Queen? She's like, what's up, baby? I was like, I love you, man. You're great. She goes, oh, thank you, man. I love you, too.
That's awesome,
It was
man.
great, man. She was really, really cool. Then she went out and sang the national anthem.
Oh, that's cool.
So you could probably
go
look
that up,
Yeah,
right? I'm going to after this. I will.
I forgot about that.
That is awesome, dude.
She said, Jose, can't you see?
Did you do any other like sports or just that one baseball game? Because that would be a big one, I would think, if you were doing a setup for
I
it.
feel like I did. What the? Oh no, I was gonna say we was at the stadium, the football, but that was for that when I met Sammy Hagar. That's what that was.
okay,
So I
that
don't
big
think
country
I ever
thing.
did no football or basketball.
No.
But the stagehands do set that up. But that shit's Cleveland guys. It's a smaller deal with the basketballs. There ain't much to do other than like putting the floor up and shit.
Now,
So
since you and me were talking about it too, I don't want to be like that typical guy that's just narrow in scope. So we're going to go off the page a little bit. It's not going to be all metal now. So how about Peter Frampton?
yep, he came to Blossom in what was no, it was Akron Civic Theater. And they recorded the show live on the fly right there. And I actually got disc 2 somewhere.
Nice.
Because they had, when they left, they had a bunch of shit laying on the table. And I was like, damn, what's this? And I was like, wow, this is from tonight.
Oh,
What
that's
they was
awesome.
doing, they had these CD duplicators.
Oh, okay.
And if you would get on your phone and do this thing, and I don't know how much it costs, but you could have a CD that night right after the show.
Oh, wow.
Like you could literally leave home with the CD from that show.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It was, dude. And I got disc 2. They made 2 discs for that.
That's a money maker, buddy.
That's
Wow.
that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, okay. So they just recorded the show live, burned a gazillion copies of whatever, and
How about Phil Collins?
yep, I
Because
got.
you're a drum guy. That's why I asked.
They was with I think wasn't that Genesis? He's with
Yeah.
them guys. I
Was
don't know
Peter
if
Gabriel with him that night?
I feel like he was
Because I love Peter Gabriel, man. Like I said before, I'm surprised you guys never covered
because I got
Salisbury
a
Hill.
picture of Craig Reed setting up his drum kit, Phil's drum kit, or it's polishing it off and setting
Right.
it up.
What'd you think of his performance?
It
As a
was
drummer?
good.
Yeah,
He's great.
he's really amazing.
He's a great musician all the way around, songwriter, all that shit.
Yeah, I agree.
He's fantastic.
How about Jimmy Buffett?
Yeah, I work for Jimmy Buffett.
And I asked because I was
probably 3,
at one of
maybe
those
4
shows.
times.
Yeah, right.
Because he's
You
always
were there.
he's at Blossom every year, something like that.
That was a good show. How about Ricky Springfield?
Is that a smile face from Gary? No, Ricky Springfield.
No. How about Bad Company?
Yes, Bad Company. That singer's phenomenal. Bad Company. I seen him when he toured with Queen.
Nice.
And he's
check them off the list.
That was when I realized that dude was a hell of a singer. He was killing that Queen. I was like, damn, the singer for Bad Company, Paul Rogers. Yeah.
Oh
he's
man,
beast. Man.
Beast mode, apex predator.
Absolutely.
How about Styx? Just to stay in the same time period.
Yeah, Styx, REO Speedwagon, and somebody else. Can't think. I don't see the. I think we're still going though.
Oh, we better
have
be.
that warning.
I hope it's not cutting out again.
Better not be.
It says
Yeah, it's got the thing
podcast,
up there.
it don't say off on it.
Gotcha. How about Nazareth?
Yeah, I did Nazareth and Blue Oyster Cult, and
Nice. Take them off the list.
and there was, I think, another one of those bands. They do them deals out there at Clay's Park.
Right.
And
I've always wanted to go because it's such an intimate
what
setting.
was weird about that was
See a
this
band.
dude that used to work in a stagehand union knew the dude that was putting on the production for that place, and he was like, that Tony Pollock. He used to do sound for Zero Tolerance here, but he did what's that? Oh, them bands that Craig used to work for them guys. It wasn't Skinner, but it was not 38 Special. Damn, what was them guys? No, but you're getting warmer, Doc. You're getting
Little River
warmer.
Band.
It was one of them bands he used to run sound for. I'll think of it. There's too many, but
Yeah, I'm hitting you with a lot.
he got the deal to do that Clay's Park thing, and he was like, "Oh man, you want to run monitor?" Because the production dude was running sound on the main stage, and they had this second stage, and he was like, "I'm running sound. You want to come do monitors? Hell yeah!" So we get there, or no, he just said, "You want to be a stagehand?" Yeah, I'll come do that. It's like just pulling the drums down and remicing and all that stuff or whatever, on and off with equipment. Yep, I'm good. We get there, and here he was supposed to have a monitor person, and the dude's lady was freaking out. She was cussing and I can't be up here. I was like, look, calm down. I can do it. Well, you know how to run sound? Yeah, I can run sound. I got you. Go relax. And then all weekend, this dude, there was feedback and squealing, and all I got was everybody. What was weird about that is the bands that come in and was so freaking particular about, I need such and such frequency cut from the monitor, and I need this, and turn it up more, and back it off here, and do that, and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Pretty much sucked. And then the bands that come in, like there was an AC/DC tribute band. I can't remember who it was. They come in. Dude's like, let me get some monitor. I turn him up, and it was, whatever. He's like, perfect, go. And they just killed it, man.
Right.
And it was just like, damn, all them dudes that was specific, they was all, all right. But all the ones that just was like, all right, cool, great. And most of them was like, yeah, you great. Well, meanwhile, Tony, this guy, I thought it was me. He had me convinced it was me that kept feeding back. And I'm thinking, dude, once I got it set, I'm not doing nothing to it. It's just doing what it's doing. I mean, and most of them they was all set microphones, so it wasn't moving around. It's like, you're crazy, dude. And at the very last night, the last 3 bands, I kept walking out and standing right the wheel ones.
Right.
They had like 9 of them back there. That was all the band's dressing rooms. And at the end of the whole thing, we was there with the big production. We tore down the second stage, went down, helped them, tore down the main stage. When it got done, dude was like, Creedon's left some swag up in this trailer. You guys want some? Go get it.
Nice.
We was like, shit, yeah. So everybody go. I'm like second to the last person up there, and I go up there, and everybody grabbed a shirt, and there was boxes of shirts, boxes of CDs, and all this other shit. I was like, you guys got what you want? They was like, yeah. I took all the rest of the shit. Took it all. They was like, what? I was like, I asked you guys, you wanted it. I'm taking the rest. They're gone. The band's gone.
Right.
Everybody's gone. There's nobody coming back. We're the
get it.
last ones, dude. They left it. I'm taking it. And I had my radio show, so I started giving that shit out.
Oh, yeah.
On the radio.
Right.
And then also, like,
I wondered where that stuff was
when Creed would come in, Creed, because they're the only ones that ever have to give away tickets.
Oh, man.
I'll give them away too, or there was a couple other bands, but I'd give away tickets on my radio show,
Right.
for shit like that too. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
What about Journey?
I got a CD, Journey. Yeah,
That's another big band that I missed last time.
they sounded good the first time they was there, and the second time, that dude, that Arnell, he was fantastic.
Oh, the
dude.
Lifetime's
He
a
sounded
great song.
so great. And at the end of the night, he was coming out of the dressing room, did his shower and shit. And somebody had backstage passes and VIPs and this shit.
Right.
Some dude and his son and his wife, they was getting autographs and all this stuff. And then he gets done with them and he's coming by. I was only about 5 or 10 feet away. I was like, dude, you sounded great tonight. He goes, oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it, and hugged me and shit.
Right on.
It was like really cool.
Nice
I was like,
guy.
hey, he was really nice. He sounded great that night too, man.
That's awesome,
I'm telling you, man.
How about Bruce Springsteen?
Bruce Springsteen, yup, at the Q. That dude's got a whole semi truck just for his guitars, just like Alex Lifeson of Rush.
Wow. A whole
A whole semi truck.
I mean, you're a
He
guitar
had to
player. How many
have-
do you think?
Man, I don't know who's got more, Alex or him, but I know Bruce Springsteen, under the stage was this whole all the way across from one side to the other, guitars on both sides.
Wow.
So there was at least 100 of them, at least, and they had very own security just for his guitars.
Oh, I can imagine, man.
And in the middle of the stage, you could come from the back, and it went up in, and then there was that underneath, and then it went up the stairs. It went to the stage. Well, I was supposed to be bringing. I think I was on lighting, and they're like, no, you can't come through here. Okay, well, how the hell am I going to put this light on stage, bro? How am I going to get it up there? This is the only steps.
Right.
I said, you're standing right there. What am I going to do? Put a guitar in my pocket?
Right.
He just looked at me all funny, like, yeah, dude, I'm trying to do a job here. You know what I mean? I know
Right.
you're trying to do yours, but I got a light in my hand that weighs fucking 400 pounds. Come on, bro.
Right. There you go. How about Bob Dylan? He's an icon.
Work for Bob Dylan.
Any good
He's a
stories?
jerk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he blacks out the back and the sides of his stage right at that dark line we're talking about.
Right.
So not a single person backstage, off stage, or any other stage. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't see my show.
Oh, and that's it. Really?
Yep.
Really?
I asked the roadie dude why,
Wow.
and he's like, yeah. He goes, this guy, if you don't buy a ticket, you ain't seeing his show.
Wow.
Not even like his people's.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's
Never
a
would have
dirt
guessed
jerk.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
Never would have guessed that.
What a dick.
How about Foo Fighters?
Yep, Foo Fighters at the Q. The band sounded great. Dave sounded like shit that night. But,
Really?
But
Well, you
I
have
love
nights,
the
you
Foo
know?
Fighters.
Can't
And,
be on every night.
you know, right. I was going to say everybody has a bad night. That might have been, well, I was going to say the
A
same
rare
with
one.
Docking, but
I bet
no,
the show
I
was
seen
still
it.
kick ass.
Oh, yeah, the band was great. The show was
Yeah.
great, yeah. He was probably hoarse from a couple shows. You know, he was a little hoarse.
I couldn't imagine doing that for a living to that degree. Weekend gigs are great, but I couldn't imagine doing it Monday through Friday. I mean, I guess, you know, the voice is a muscle, but like, I just,
Well, that's why
it
I
still
tell-
boggles my mind.
That's
they're
why I
able
was
to do
telling
that.
Paul, you know, I was like, dude, you did great that night of the chicken coop live. And he's like, oh, man, I was like,
Oh, he
dude.
killed it. He killed it. He turned into Joe Cocker at one
was
point,
like,
and I
bro,
absolutely
said,
loved
you
it.
got to understand,
That's
a
part of the
voice
show.
ain't like a damn guitar. I said, you can't just go in there and tune your voice up and be
No,
ready to go.
you
I
gotta
said,
build
if
it
you
up.
don't eat right, drink right, and warm up, dude, you
It
know.
takes time.
I
And
said,
you can't hurry
and
it.
we're human. We're not perfect. You know
Not
what I
only
mean?
that, but that improv he did was awesome. man.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it was
thought so,
killer.
too.
On the fly.
And it was all improv is the part that I
Dude,
really
it was
want to
killing
stress
it,
about
man.
that night that people kind
That
of
shit
missed,
was
I
funny.
think.
Yeah.
everybody was on, but like none of that was prepared really to go that way. And that was what was so amazing to me to be, at the camera running it and watching it, through the what everybody else was seeing. You guys did a fantastic job.
And also, on top of all that, I would like to say that we would never
Ever
tell you to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, and
Because
definitely
you guys don't want to hear that shit, so we would never say that.
don't hit that fucking bell.
We forgot not to tell you that on the last one.
No,
we figured we wouldn't tell you on this one.
I got to see The Dead with Jerry, and did you ever see any of the amalgamations?
I worked for the Dead and Company.
Nice. And how was that? Did you get to?
It was cool. I actually,
Mayor.
yeah, John Mayer, which is funny because that night he was a jerk when
Really?
he was with them guys. But I had met him prior to that at the
Right.
induction hall ceremonies,
Right.
and he was cool ass shit. I met him, and
Just one of them
Rage
days,
Against the
baby.
Machine guitar player.
Oh, Tom Morello.
Tom Morello.
Oh, it's
I met
awesome.
him there that night.
I really like
He was
him.
really cool.
He seems like a
And
really
somebody
cool dude.
else, they was getting ready. It
Smart
was
dude.
the day of rehearsals.
We get along really
and
good. I
he
think,
looked
coming
at
out.
Mayor and he was like, "Hey, I'm going up to my room. Why don't you come up and jam with us?" It was him. There was like 5 guitar players going up to Morello's room to
Wow.
just jam
Hell
out.
yeah, they
I
would
would have
be.
loved to have been in that
Oh my
room.
God,
Oh,
yes. How about the Police? Because I love the
Yeah,
Police.
I definitely did them up at the Q. That was a big show.
Imagine that would be because they're another iconic band.
Police.
How about Rod Stewart?
Yep. I did him at the Q and at Blossom. The first time I did him was at the Q, and he was.
It's
in the
funny when he
round.
says he
He's
did
like
him.
that.
It's like,
I
yeah, I
did
did him.
Oh, I did him right in his
did him.
old butthole.
I did him.
His airy butt.
How about
But no.
stealing? Oh, you got a story on Rod?
Well, that was the first time they call it in the round, where the stage is in the middle of the arena, and all the seats are around it. It was pretty cool. Justin Timberlake's was the same way, only Justin Timberlake had a full bar all the way around his.
Yeah.
And you know what was cool about
Get
that?
down.
You know what was really excellent? The fact that you had to pay $400 to sit at the bar, and you had to watch the concert on a TV screen because the bar was so high you couldn't see the stage.
Ouch. Ouch. Do you
Oh.
eat the $400 and just
Oh.
go see the show, or do you just get
You're
smashed?
sitting there,
and
you're
be like,
sitting,
idiot,
yeah, you gotta
idiot.
get smashed because you can't see, because it was weird how they had it laid out. Like you're sitting there at this
But for
bar.
that price, didn't you have all access?
I don't know
VIP,
what,
like,
I don't
treatment?
know, probably.
I
I'm
would
sure.
think. Holy hell.
But it was still like, man, I paid to sit at the stage and I gotta watch it on a video screen because the stage is too high
Yeah, it's a crock
of
of
where
shit.
I'm sitting at. It was weird.
How about Steely Dan?
I think so. I think they was at Blossom.
How about Billy Joel?
Billy Joel, yep.
ZZ
Oh, and another Rod Stewart was when he came to Blossom, everything they had was white. The Marley, Bob Marley, they call it Marley. That's the shit they put down on the floors at concerts if it ain't carpet. That shiny black, they do it at theater shows too. That shiny black
Yeah,
floor.
yeah.
It's like linoleum kind of, but it comes in these sheets and they roll it out and tape it
Right.
together or whatever. His shit was all white. Drums, guitars, hardware, everything was white. And on this Marley, that shit gets scuffed up so easy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
after they set it all up and got all the stage set up and everything, we had to clean
Clean
that
it
shit.
all,
I,
right, it's all
I happened to
scuffed
been.
up.
I was like, oh. And this dude's like, oh, no worries. He goes, after the third show, I figured it out. And he got a tennis ball and cut a little hole and put it on a broom handle and used simple green.
Ah, dude,
Pulled
right
them
up.
scuffs right
Nice.
up, dude. I was like, damn, that was
Ingenuity.
badass. But yeah, that was a little,
Angel did that all white shit.
yeah.
Back in the
And Rod Stewart's badass.
How about,
As old as he was, he still got it.
ZZ Top?
Yep. ZZ Top at the Akron Civic Theater, and they was awesome. It was like, it was weird though, because it wasn't like being at this big, like I got their DVD, and when you watch them, it's like ZZ Top. Oh.
Right.
But when I was there, side stage watching the show,
Right.
it was like sitting at Whitey's bar watching ZZ Top.
Yeah, right.
It was like laid back and just like,
Chill.
it was like, wow, this is weird. Like, I don't know. I've never experienced like that.
Right.
It was like watching a professional bar band
Right.
playing like they was at a bar. It was weird. I don't know. It was good though. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
man.
great.
I
Don't get
imagine.
me-
I mean,
and then I got to meet Billy Gibbons down. He was standing at his dressing room door, and me and Sam King was walking by, taking something somewhere. Like, hey, Billy, what's happening? Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Right
He's smooth.
on.
He's smooth
Yeah.
for real. He's like that.
That's awesome,
But
man.
what tripped me out is he's only about that big around.
Wow.
Yeah, he's skinny as hell, man. You wouldn't know it because he wears all them big. Most of them dudes are skinny, small dudes.
And yeah, I've noticed that a lot of theater folk
My
are too.
God.
Yes. How about Blink 182?
Yeah, I've worked for them guys. Didn't meet none of them.
No,
Now you know their guitar player, or the singer. Don't he play guitar?
Yeah,
The singer,
So. I think, yeah,
Tom. What's his name? Tom.
I can't think of his last name.
Fuck, I can't think of it.
I know. I didn't write it down.
But he's all into that UFO shit.
He big time, and I'm friends with him on. That's why it's bothering me now because you stuck it in my
I
head
know.
like a splinter,
I
and
can't
now
think of
I
it
can't
neither.
pull it
That's-
out either.
it pisses
And the
me
people are
off.
screaming at the screen
I
right
know,
now if
right?
they're watching it. You know,
Like, you dummy.
idiots.
Yeah. That's
I'm gonna change gears though because we're gonna try a few others because I know you've seen a lot more than that, and we're gonna go jump into country. How about Garth Brooks or Brooks and Dunn? Because there's
Brooks
two
and Dunn. No Garth Brooks.
Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks and Dunn several times.
Really? Did you meet the guys or anything like that?
I think man, that's like one of them deals where I think I met a few of them guys
And
in the
didn't know it?
elevator. Yeah.
because they seem like really solid
Mhm.
dudes.
Now Rascal Flats, I met one of them dudes when they come in the morning.
Right.
They're the one dude, he's out like jogging around the perimeter and shit. Then I ran into him jogging, talked to him for a minute. Actually, me and my one dude met the Nickelback. We ended up giving the singer for Nickelback a ride from the buses up to the parking lot, up almost to the parking lot where the gate was, the
Right.
gatekeeper, to pick this chick up that he whatever and brought them guys back down. The first time I met him, he was a dick, and then that time he was cool. Of course, we was doing him a favor, so
Right. You've really had a lot of wild experiences, man. How about Hank Williams Jr.?
yeah, I worked for him. I didn't meet him.
Right? How was he doing? How was that working
Good
for him? 'Cause
show.
that's a big show.
Yeah,
Right?
I forget who was all on that one. There was a couple.
How about Miranda Lambert?
Yeah. And I got a little story for you on
Yeah.
that one too.
Got 3/4 left.
boys. Oh, shit. Yeah. Let me check, y'all.
Oh, well, oh man, there's a few more F-bombs coming,
So-
folks. Sorry about that, Mom. That'd be crazy if she was actually
Normal
watching.
show for the most part. But at the end of the show, when the shit came down and everything's going chaotic, my buddy Stevie Russell found this earring on stage. He's like, damn, and he puts it in his pocket and blah, 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 and we're doing this and that and
Right.
the other.
Because people throw shit on stage.
Yeah,
You
and
never know where it came from.
Right, and he
People wear costumes.
he's like, check it out, man. He's showing me this earring. He's like, oh, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. He goes, I think it was Miranda Lambert. So I'm like, no shit. And you figure them guys, with the money they got
Oh,
it
my
insured or
gosh.
whatever
That's
anyway.
right.
So we get the shit almost tore down, and the production people come up and stop the whole thing. Like,
Where's the earring?
where's the earring?
Right.
And because one of the techs seen Stevie showing it to me.
Oh.
Well, it turns out one of the other stagehands' daughter was there, and it was her birthday, so he gave it to her for a birthday.
Oh, man. No
So-
good deed goes unpunished.
So luckily they didn't leave yet because
Right.
they was waiting for him to get done. They was up in the car. They was gonna wait, and when he got done, go home or whatever.
Right.
So they was still there. They shut the show down. Was like, look. At first he was like, I don't have it. I don't know what you're talking about. They was
Right,
like,
right, right.
bullshit. We know you do because
Take it to
we,
the tape.
Yeah, we seen you with it. You know what I mean? And then he finally, all right, well, I gave it away. Or like, look, if you don't get that earring back, we're prosecuting.
Wow. There
Like
you
they
go.
got serious.
That's how we roll.
So I guess it was some kind of high dollar earring or whatever.
Right,
but
right,
we ended
right.
up getting it back. But they shut the whole freaking thing down.
Over that.
Yeah, and they was
Well,
like, nope, nobody touching shit
That's
until that
money.
earring comes back.
That's right.
It's like, oh, talk about being put on the spot, huh, Stevie? Huh?
How about Taylor Swift? That's another big one.
Yeah, up at the Q.
The Q.
Yep. The two worst shows to ever set up is TSO and WWE, boy.
Oh, you did wrestling too.
Fuck.
Oh wow, that's a whole other subject, man. That's
drop
awesome.
a quarter in there. 'Cause that's crazy. I quit doing both of them. It's just so ridiculous because TSO every year gets just more lights. Man,
What's TSO?
Trans-Siberian Orchestra,
Ah, right.
which is Sabotage, the band Sabotage.
Any stories around that? Because that's a big production, man. That's in
Yeah.
town for a minute at the holidays, right?
Now, we started to talk about that's what got cut off earlier.
Oh
right?
yeah,
The
we missed all that
story.
sabotage story.
So-
Yeah, if you want to tell it from the beginning, go ahead because
All
it'll
right.
actually work.
So the keyboard player and the guitar player, if you guys don't know, the Sabotage guys do the TSO. Half of them do the East Coast, the other half do the West Coast. So the East Coast guys, one of the guitar players is Chris Caffrey. There's another guitar player, and John Oliva that's in there. I guess he's a writer, but he's the keyboard player, but he's not in TSO. He's just a writer, but he was in Sabotage. So we got tickets to go see these guys up at the House of Blues. It was John Oliva's band, solo band, Chris Caffrey's solo band, and Tim Owens' solo band. I don't know if it was Beyond Fear or it was just something he put together. I think it was Beyond Fear when they
The
first
Ripper
put that
Owens.
CD out. Anyway, I got a buddy named Rollo that goes up there and hangs out when they
Yo,
go to
Rollo!
and they go to like Cleveland and Michigan, Detroit, and Toledo. He'll go to all three of them shows and party with them all night long. And in fact, I think they was at one where Joey Belladonna was actually at one of their shows playing his solo shit. And Ron knows him too. And he was like, dude, every time you come to our shows, you're fucked up. You're some kind of, you got a drug problem and all this shit. And he's
Right.
like, no, man. He goes, I'm just doing it big while you guys are here. That's all. I'm not really like that and all
Right.
this shit. But
I feel like I'm turning my head. Sorry.
so when we was up there, it was Chris Caffrey's birthday. So I had some doobies rolled. Gave one to John Oliva. Or no, we smoked one with John in the back alley, and Chris came out a little bit later, and I gave him one because it was his birthday. I think he might have hit it too while we all of us in the circle. And I gave him one. Yeah. And I gave him one. It was his birthday. He thanked me on his website. Hey, thanks to my fan for the fatty or whatever he said.
Ha.
Something like that. I was like, that's cool. But then when TSO was up at the Q at some
Right.
point, we're in the garage. Oh man. So one of the guitar players, which there's another story to that, but I'd have to mention the name, but I can't mention the name.
You can't
for
just
certain
tell it without
reasons.
the name?
So we're in the park. There's like this inside thing that they go down inside where the buses and the trucks and the football players and the basketball players and all them, well, not
Right.
football, but baseball. Like if you're ever walking towards the queue or the field, you'll see that parking deck that goes down by the
Right.
parking deck and it's got
Right.
them steel posts.
Yep.
They hit this button and them steel things go down. Then it goes down inside. And if it goes straight, it goes to the queue, or there's a big ass door that opens up and it goes into Jacobs Field.
Oh,
underground.
wow.
It's
Okay.
all underground.
That's
under
the,
there.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And like that courtyard that's out there,
Right?
that shit's all underneath that. That's all like parking for these semis, buses,
Okay.
and all.
What
all-
it takes to do the big show.
Yeah. And we're out there unloading this truck, and we hear this chick screaming bloody murder. Like, what the fuck
Oh, wow.
is going on? And here she's running towards our
Oh,
truck from
man.
these buses, and there was a couple dudes already standing on the side and seeing what was going on, and she's screaming. I mean, you would think this chick was getting stabbed to death.
Oh,
Wow, she's
man.
screaming.
That's freaky.
And
Especially in echo in that place. You know
dude,
what I mean?
got,
That's
I got
freaky.
another one about the tigers with that bad boy. Them Siberian ones in that fucking same thing. Oh my god. So this chick's come running towards a semi truck, screaming bloody murder, and we stop and we're like, lean out. We're like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
she comes running down by us and runs right up into the security thing. And here's this guitar player come running this way, and he's
Oh, wow.
like tweaked the fuck out,
Geeked out, right.
And
Yeah, you can go ahead.
it's like, like what the hell's going on, man? And she's up in the thing. This roadie goes up in there, and she's freaking out or whatever. So this whole thing goes
Drama.
down. And I end up telling, because normally we're not supposed to be talking about that shit.
Yeah, right.
So I tell somebody in confidentiality this story.
Right.
And I'm like, this dude, I was like, I don't know what, because I was like, this is not normal.
Not normal behavior
for this guy.
Right.
It's like something's crazy, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So this dude goes to the NAMM show out in California and goes up to this dude and says some shit to him about this.
Oh my gosh, he confronts him.
And this dude turns white, he says, and looks at him and just turns away.
Wow.
So then, after that, now mind you, before that, I could go up to this dude and talk. Like, what's up? Hey, blah, blah, this back and forth. After that, at the very first show they was back after that, I come walking up, and they was on stage. It was for the Out. And I come back early, and I'm standing stage right sitting there. There was another stagehand, a security guy, and me. And they're playing, and he's by his gondola after every couple songs, and he's fluffing his hair, making sure everything's cool, changes his guitar. And he leans into his guitar tech for a second. And he's like, he goes back out on stage, and his guitar tech comes straight up to me. He goes, he don't want you guys here, you or you two. And kicks me, the other dude, and the security guy off
his
side of the stage.
That's right.
I mean,
because it's his.
And I was like, damn. And he was kind of shitty with me ever since
Wow,
then.
because of that.
And then it took like 5 or 6 times after that to finally, I seen him in catering one time up at
Straighten
the
it
Q's.
out.
And I just kind of talked to him, and he kind of must have forgot or blew it over or whatever and didn't realize it was me or whatever. But he talked to me, but it was like, dude,
wow.
I couldn't believe dude said some shit like, I was like, what? Dude,
Oh, man.
what's wrong with you, man?
How about Reba McEntire? She's another
Reba,
icon.
Yep.
How was she?
She was fantabulous.
Did you meet her?
No, I didn't get to meet her. It was her.
She's
and
a
Kelly
beautiful lady.
Clarkston.
And I could say that because I'm going to be a single man in 19
And
days.
Kelly's a great singer, but Reba blew her ass.
Oh,
away.
wow. Really?
Like,
well, you know what? I'm not surprised because she's
Reba's
extremely talented. She's a gorgeous
incredible.
older woman, too. I think I said that, but oh, man. I had it bad for her when I was a kid. That's a little out of left field, but how about Lady Gaga?
Alexander the Great.
Yeah, that's right.
That's who the background noise.
He's killing it tonight.
Lady Gaga, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a little
I did
out of
her
the
at
country.
Q. And we
That's
had
a big show.
big show. We had to sign extra confidentiality shit for her.
Wow. What's that entail?
Well, I don't know. From what I understand, from what I heard from one of the texts was her junk fell out at some certain show.
You mean her boobs?
No, her penis.
Oh, whoa. Whoa. Are you kidding me?
That's what I heard. I did sign some papers saying I'll talk about it, but I'm not in that shit no more, so I'm talking about it.
You weren't. Wow.
But I tell you, when she was on stage and there was a certain point where the light hit her and whatever she was wearing, you could kind of see through it. Not like you could see actual that, but you could kind of see the profile.
Wow.
And she damn sure got a dude's profile. That's all I'll say.
Wow. You know, all of those
I can't
entertainers.
say I've seen her junk, but
I
she got a
honestly,
dude's profile.
it
She got
doesn't-
a strong chin, boy.
It doesn't bother me either way because they're all acting at some degree.
Strong chin, boy.
And anyone in entertainment are impersonating to a degree in a way. It's not like we're redefining pie. How about Brad Paisley? That's a
Yeah.
big name.
Yeah.
And
Brad Paisley gets those amps made in Cleveland.
really?
Yeah, those Dr. What are them? Dr. something, Dr. Watt,
Yeah, Dr. Hook and the Medicine
Dr.
Show.
Z. Dr. Z.
I want to be on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
It was pretty cool because he went in and had him build a bunch of amps instead of put where the speaker goes.
Right.
He put video screens and put his whole back line.
Yeah, that's cool. Brad Paisley?
Brad Paisley, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How about Chris Stapleton? That's a name you hear
Yep,
around
yep.
these parts a lot.
Done him a few times.
Any interesting stories come up? No.
Nah.
He's got a big fan base. How about Zach Brown Band?
Yep. Zach Brown.
Jason Aldean?
Yep.
Blake Shelton. That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
How about Vince Gill?
I don't know about Vince Gill.
'Cause-
May have, but that one don't ring a bell like it don't stand out.
There's a rumor I heard years ago that if you're in the studio in Nashville and need a lead in a like heavy metal,
Vince Gill,
especially that
yes.
he's the man that they call.
Yeah.
And he literally is like a total pro. He comes in, he does it, and he leaves. Is what I heard.
Mhm.
Whether or not that's true, I guess. I
think
don't
back
know.
in the day, it probably was.
But
They got a lot of slingers
now,
down Nashville
that's right.
now, studio guys.
Right. We got one sitting right there.
Yeah.
I love it too. He's my son. Carrie Underwood. She's a big name.
Yep. Didn't carry. I done her.
Kenny
I done
Chesney.
did her.
How about Kenny Chesney?
I done did her. I tell you.
Now that's
Kenny Chesney. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that.
that's a big chunk of the country world. How about you mentioned rappers before like Lil Wayne and Snoop? Did you set both of those up?
Yep.
And were they different or were they the same show?
No, I mean, actually, Lil Wayne's was pretty cool. He had his stage was like those shadow window things you put on the. It's got a bunch of little boxes with the mirror behind it on your wall.
Right.
His stage was like that, but he had a drummer in one, a keyboard player,
Nice.
a record scratcher
That's cool.
behind him. It was pretty coul Snoop was cool too, and that guy's got bands. Like I said, they had
Right.
Well, I was saying the drummer, the key, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Snoop, he got a band too. I forget what his set was like.
And what was the party atmosphere like at Snoop's?
Oh,
That's
my
gotta
God.
be
Any
huge.
of them rappers, dude.
And he's got his own line
like-
of cannabis,
like-
I see it at the dispensary.
Most of them stagehands, well, not most of them because most of them smoke, but there's
Right.
a lot of them that don't, they're like, oh my God, like
Right.
the whole inside of Blossom smells like a weed factory. Trust me. Them dudes don't play.
That is awesome. How about Timbaland? NWA or
I
Dre
wore them
or any of
shoes.
those?
Oh, them are Timberlands. Who?
NWA or Dr. Dre or
Usher.
Easy or any of them? Usher? Usher, yeah, that's a good one. You read ahead. You did Usher?
Yeah. What was tripped out about him is they put these, those aluminum ramps they put up to put shit in a semi truck
Mhm.
with? Well, they had one that went up to this 4x4 deck, and then from there went up to the stage. And I just assumed it was to take cases and all that shit up. Well, when it come time, when it was the show, which was weird because right at the end of that, when it went up there, they had this bar there too, and I was like, what the fuck? Oh, and damn, I did it again. So this dude comes out of his dressing room on one of them two-wheeled
Right.
deals. What are them called?
Scooter?
Not a scooter with the
I know what you mean.
A what?
I don't have
What
one,
you
so
talking
I can't
about?
tell you the name offhand, but I know what you
I
mean.
got a great story about one of those when we was on this Pokemon tour too.
You did the Pokemon tour?
It was a trippy thing. It was in these malls. But what are them things? Them electric things they ride, man. The cops got them and shit.
I can't think of what
Come
they're
on,
called.
man.
I
We know
do.
what come on.
I know it's on the tip of my brain.
Anyway, he comes out of the dressing room, 100 miles an hour on this thing.
Hover around.
Hits this damn ramp. Bam! And stops dead on a dime, dude. Like I don't know how this dude didn't kill himself going up these ramps. And then jumps off and he's got like this golden pistol microphone. Looks like a 9mm. And then he go out there singing and come back. And he'd jump up on this bar and pull himself up, and they'd drop his
Wow.
pants, put pants on. He'd step down, they'd pull his shirt off. They'd quick change this
Right.
dude in like 30 seconds, man. It was
Wow.
unbelievable. He'd run back out in his other costume, but his drummer, it just passed away, R.I.P., bro.
Oh, wow.
Aaron Spears, unbelievable, dude. And such a nice guy. I met him. I had to put the monitors, I think, by his drum kit, and I was still hooking him up when he came up
Right.
after his drum tech, and he was, warming up, and I was
Right.
getting ready to do a rehearsal. I was still dicking around or whatever, and I was like talking to him or whatever, and he was really cool. Then we went up and sat in the stands, and he was warming up. Man, that dude If you ever go on YouTube and look up Aaron Spears, if you like some drum shit, that dude is incredible.
I might have seen him on the
He's
one drum thing
badass. I got some of his drumsticks too, actually.
How about Nicki Minaj?
Yep, I seen old Nikki, or I worked for her. She got all fake goods. That's what one of her peoples was telling me. All her that booty, them titties, all that's fake.
Who am I leaving out that you know that you did? Because I know it's a huge list. We could keep going and going and going. How about Eminem?
Oh,
That's a
I
huge
didn't do
name.
him, but at the Rock Hall induction ceremonies, this clown.
You laughed, so here's the
Oh,
chorus.
this guy. He comes in, and I didn't know who he was because I didn't realize the some bitch was so small. He's like a little kid. And he come walking in this, and it was almost the same spot where I ducked my head down on that video. It was in them curtains.
Yeah, right.
But it was back further. And this dude comes in, it was rehearsals. And he's by himself at first. And he comes in and he's walking around. And I'm the only one in this room besides me and him. Or it's not a room, it's stage right in between these curtains and shit.
Right.
And he comes in and he walks around, he's doing all these moves and shit, and he's looking at me all funny and shit. And I didn't know who he was, so I fucking started looking at him all funny. Like,
Slam.
like, who the fuck do you think you are, bro?
Two. Rapid fire.
I know it's Eminem. Next thing I know, these gigantic black dudes that are probably like 5 foot wide and like 8 foot tall Sasquatch looking
Ex-football
fucks.
players.
Big dudes. They come in and he's looking at me all weird. I look at him like, what, bro? You want to go outside, bro? We'll go outside. Like, I'm looking at him like, what? He's looking at me funny. I'm looking back at him funny.
Oh,
And then
man.
he's looking at me like, how dare you look at me funny because I'm looking at you funny. And I'm like, right here, buddy. And then as this tension's building between me and him, not a word's being said, but our eyeballs is burning each other right in half, dude. These gorillas come in, monster dudes, and it's his entourage. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get crushed up and rolled up in a ball and thrown in the trash can and shit.
Oh, man.
And this little gay guy comes in and he's doing all these poses. And he starts walking around. Weird shit, dude. Like, that dude is weird. That's all I know. And it was just a funny moment because he thought he was going to come in and be recognized. And somebody, oh, Eminem. And I was like, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck you think you are?
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't care. Like, I don't know
Attitude.
who
You were having a day.
I wasn't even having a day. I just was like, who the hell you think you are? You gonna come in acting all funny and look at me? I thought it was a Cleveland stagehand. I didn't know it was Eminem.
Wow.
I thought it was so. I was like looking at him like, what are you doing, dude? Like, why are you acting like an idiot?
Wow.
It was Eminem. I was like, damn, he's a little dude too.
Wow.
Them induction ceremonies was a trip.
Like, and we started with that. We'll close with it. So, like, who else did you see up there at those ones? Because you were telling me the list is huge.
Oh, man, I would have to, man, I had to, like, I don't remember if it was the Four Tops, the Four Seasons. It was one of them four dudes, them old bands. I was telling you that them induction ceremonies are like weeks. And
Right.
It was like, I think it was the night before, or it was even after the show, or it was, no, because while the show was going on, I would have been doing something else. Or maybe it was that first one.
Well,
in
you
between.
spent a lot of time there
Yeah,
doing that. You know what I mean?
These dudes come up, these doo-wopping, they was doo-wopping me.
Oh,
They all
that's my
came
dad's
up and
favorite.
sang specifically right to me and made up a song right there on the spot because I was laying back on this road case all fucking drooling on myself because
Right.
I was so tired.
Right.
And I'm almost out of quarters.
All right. We're right at the end.
There's all right, one more story. They wanted me to run Spotlight, and this was the one that had Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney at. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll run Spotlight at front of house. I'm like, all right, cool. Front of house was this big ass platform. It was like half the length of a semi truck and two of them wide.
Wow.
Trailer, semi truck trailer.
Right.
It was huge. 4 spotlights, all this shit on it. Dimmer packs and everything to make, and all the shit came from the ceiling. But they'd lower it to the ground, And we'd get on there, and it would go up, and you're there until the show's over.
Oh, wow.
Not so bad, because, you know, you got to use, you know, piss or something. You know, you're on this big-ass platform.
Right.
All right, cool. I'll run Spotlight. So right at the last minute, this Cleveland guy goes, "Oh, I'm gonna pull rank. I want the platform. You get the trust spot." What's trust?
What's
I
that?
knew what a trust spot was, but I was like, whatever. A trust spot is you're in a NASCAR seat that's bolted to a truss that they hang the lights from,
Right.
and you run the spotlight from this. You get in it. Well, normally they bring the truss down, and you get in this, and it goes back up. Well, this show, and not all of them. Sometimes, you know, them rope ladders.
Right.
You got to climb one of these, and guess what? I had to climb one of these to get up there. So I'm climbing some bitch 60 foot up. Then you got to pull that son of a bitch up and wind it up as you're pulling it and tie it off so don't drop and kill somebody while shit's going on.
Right.
And you're there when them induction, you know, a normal concert, you know, it's only a couple hours, no big deal. But them shows, bro, you're up there for 7 to 8 hours.
It's got to be hot, those lights.
Well, yeah, but it's not too bad because you're up. Well, it is kind of hot. So if you got to piss, you can't come down. So you got to take an empty water bottle with you. You got to take a water bottle with you just to, you know,
Oh, man.
but you can't drink too much. You just got to wet your whistle because if you drink,
You're
you
going to
got
have
to
to leak.
piss.
Right. You're going to piss on that. And
Okay,
you
guess what? My spot,
spilling it out the side of it.
No. right directly underneath me, if I would have spilled a single drop of piss, slobber, anything, was the backup singer chicks all night long. I mean, they was directly underneath me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I got to piss, even if I piss in this bottle and I
You go wide.
my God, if
Dude.
it slips out anything, right?
Wow.
I got video footage of being up there of like Green Day's drummer. He was like right down below me for most of it.
Oh, wow.
I got tons of pictures and shit. I'm
That's
gonna
precarious,
post. I
man.
never posted it because he wasn't allowed then, but
Right.
now the shit's over with and all that.
Right.
One of these
Right.
days I'm gonna dig that shit out and repost
I
it.
mean, you have some amazing things to put up on the
But it's
Media
like,
Farm
yeah,
website.
it's like,
What's coming ahead for everybody is really great. And, I'm sorry we didn't really talk too much about history tonight, but what have I left out about the great Tom? Because we've covered a lot of shit in a
It's
short
all the
amount of
music
time.
shit.
You know what I mean? Right. And that's kind of
well, the main thing is I was abused by myself as a child. And that fucked me up. I mean, there's that.
there's always that. I think you're going to need like a $20 roll of these.
Oh,
next
one
time.
other thing is Fleetwood Mac.
Oh yeah, I never asked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did them at the Q, and
I
then
love Fleetwood
as
Mac.
they're
Rumors
setting
is a
up
great
and all
album.
that, you know, they got the big curtain behind and the
Right.
video wall where they set up this tiny little drum set behind the curtain. I'm like, damn. I was like, why would they need a
Practice
drum
set?
set? Yeah, I was like, is dude warming up back there? I was like,
I bet.
so I asked one of the techs, I was like, what's the deal with the curtain? He goes, what do you mean? Or what's the deal with the drum set? He goes, don't watch the man behind the curtain. I was like, that's not the Great Oz, is it? And he goes, it sure is. So they had a drummer, when they would start and finish the songs, McFleetwood would be playing, and then when it would get going, they'd fade him out and bring the other dude in to keep the timing and keep the show going because he couldn't hang, I guess.
Oh,
It
wow.
was pretty bizarre.
Well,
That was
you know,
the first time I ever seen that shit.
when
But
you're getting older, man,
it
we
is what it
talked
is.
about it, you know? You just get robbed
mean,
of
it
your
still
talent.
sounded great out there,
sometimes,
but
a little bit.
like I was watching, I was like,
With
damn,
age,
how come he's on the
it's
hi-hat and
unmerciful.
I hear a ride cymbal? What's going on? Oh, man behind the curtain.
Age is unmerciful. Thanks for watching the Outhouse
Yeah.
again. Hopefully you're on part 2 because you watched part 1. And we're gonna cover a lot of other stuff. Tom's gonna finally do me
We're going to interview this guy,
next
I think.
Wednesday. Are we gonna do the same
Yeah,
day?
Wednesday at 8 p.m. We're going to try this again.
Eastern Standard Time.
Again.
And-
Thanks you all for hanging out.
And look out for the chicken coop because there's a lot of interesting stuff coming
Yeah,
that way too.
We're going to try to get these bands going here soon,
Right.
sir. We got to get a couple more cameras in action
Right.
and all that.
We're still in the infancy of this, but
like I said, thanks everybody for
feels
hanging
good.
out. This
And
is
you know,
awesome.
we would never ask you guys to hit that
Never.
bell ever. We hate that
I
bell.
wouldn't want you to share,
Hate
like, or
that fucking
subscribe
bell.
or anything like that. Look, he's using my quarters when he
I
says the
slipped
voice.
up. I always
We're
pay my
not going to
quarters
fade
forward.
to black. We're going to fade to Alex.
We're gonna fade to Alexander the Great,
and then
right?
we'll be
My
out.
kid.
But peace out, y'all. Have a great one. See you on the next one. If you got it, leave something in the comments. If you guys got anything you want us to talk about or anything, let us know, man.
Yeah.
We'll bring it up.
Absolutely.
Other than religion and politics, we're going to steer away from that.
Yeah, we'll try not to talk about
Yeah, I mean, I'm
sex
sure
too
we'll
much. I don't think we'll be
bump
talking about
across
too
it
much
here
of
and there,
that.
but we really don't want to, That's it. Have a good one, everybody.
Good night. Yeah, play it out, son.